Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're diving into the top 10 most mysterious and unsettling murder cases from 2024. These cases have left many questions unanswered, with families seeking justice and communities searching for closure. Let's explore the chilling details behind these unsolved tragedies. 10. Jennifer Rothwell. Jennifer Rothwell, a 43-year-old mother of two, was tragically found dead in 2024, a week after being reported missing. Rothwell had last been seen leaving her home in St. Louis, Missouri, and her disappearance quickly sparked a wide search. Her body was discovered in a remote area, and while authorities have not publicly confirmed the cause of death, early reports indicated signs of foul play. Investigators have focused on her estranged husband as a primary person of interest, though no arrests have been made. Friends and family have spoken out, highlighting the emotional and financial struggles Jennifer faced in her marriage. The case has drawn attention to the broader issue of domestic violence. Despite the ongoing investigation, the circumstances surrounding her death remain unclear, leaving loved ones and the community searching for justice. The case is still under investigation as authorities continue to piece together the clues. 9. Bethany Ann Decker. Bethany Ann Decker, a 25-year-old student from Virginia, was reported missing in January 2024, sending shockwaves through her family and friends. Her remains were found weeks later in a secluded area, and her death was ruled a homicide. Investigators have struggled to piece together what led to her death, with a focus on her personal relationships. Bethany had been in a tumultuous relationship with her ex-boyfriend, who had been a person of interest early on. Despite multiple interviews and investigations, no arrest has been made, and the case remains open. Her family has been vocal in their quest for answers, calling for more attention from the authorities. The unresolved circumstances surrounding her death have left many in the community wondering whether she was a victim of domestic violence or something more sinister. 8. Zuzu Virk. Zuzu Virk, a 27-year-old woman from Texas, disappeared in 2024, sending her family and the local community into a state of panic. After a weeks-long search, her body was eventually discovered in a remote area. Virk had been in an abusive relationship with her boyfriend, and many speculated that this might have played a role in her death. Police have questioned several individuals, but they have yet to make any arrests or publicly name a suspect. The case has raised awareness about the dangers of domestic abuse, with her family advocating for justice and urging authorities to speed up their investigation. Despite a few promising leads, the case remains unsolved, and the mystery of what happened to Zuzu continues to haunt those who knew her. 7. Ashley Doolittle. Ashley Doolittle, a 32-year-old woman from California, was found dead in her apartment in February 2024 under suspicious circumstances. Her body showed signs of forced entry and struggle, leading authorities to believe that foul play was involved. Despite several interviews and the identification of possible suspects, no arrests have been made, and the investigation is ongoing. Friends and family have described Ashley as a kind and caring individual who had no known enemies, which has only deepened the mystery surrounding her death. With little evidence and a lack of clear motives, the case remains open. Her family continues to push for justice, hoping that new evidence will emerge to lead to an arrest. The circumstances of Ashley's death have left many in the community searching for answers and wondering if someone close to her was involved in this senseless tragedy. 6. Morgan Fox. Morgan Fox, a 30-year-old journalist from New York, was found dead in her apartment. At the time of her death, Morgan had been working on a high-profile investigative report about corruption within local government, leading many to suspect that her death could be connected to her work. Police have not ruled out foul play, but the circumstances surrounding her death remain unclear. While there were no immediate signs of forced entry or struggle, the investigation into her death continues with no arrests or suspects. Morgan's colleagues and family have raised concerns about the slow progress of the investigation, with some wondering if the authorities are taking the right steps to uncover the truth. The case has sparked widespread media attention, with many questioning whether Morgan's death was a targeted attack or a tragic accident. Her family is calling for justice, hoping that new leads will eventually provide answers. 5. Vanessa Marcotte. Vanessa Marcotte, a 26-year-old woman from Massachusetts, was found dead in a wooded area after going for a run in August. The circumstances surrounding her death initially seemed mysterious, and early reports suggested the possibility of a random attack. There was no sign of sexual assault, but the nature of her death raised concerns in the community. Investigators later identified a potential suspect, a local man who had been in the area at the time, but they were unable to make an arrest due to lack of evidence. The case continues to be a point of contention, with some calling for more transparency in the investigation. 4. Molly Bish. Molly Bish, a 16-year-old high school student from Massachusetts, was tragically abducted and murdered. Her case had gone cold for years, but in 2024, new DNA evidence reignited the investigation. Molly's body was found several years after her disappearance, and her case has remained one of the most haunting in the region. The latest developments have shown promising leads, and investigators are working to link the new DNA evidence to potential suspects. Her family has continued to advocate for her memory, pushing for further investigation and justice. 3. Liam Gray. Liam Gray, a 21-year-old college student from Michigan, was found dead in his dorm room in March under suspicious circumstances. His sudden and unexplained death baffled both his family and the university community. While initial reports suggested a possible overdose, toxicology reports showed no signs of drugs or alcohol in his system. The lack of clear evidence led investigators to treat his death as a potential homicide. Police have interviewed several students and faculty members who had contact with Liam, but there have been no arrests or breakthroughs in the case. 2. Patrick Sean Betts. Patrick Sean Betts, a 38-year-old businessman from Chicago, was found dead in his luxury apartment in May. Betts had been a well-known figure in the city's financial sector, but his death has raised more questions than answers. Initially, authorities believed it could have been a robbery gone wrong, but the lack of forced entry and the discovery of personal items intact made that theory less likely. Friends and colleagues have expressed surprise, saying there was no indication of any threats against him or any enemies in his personal or professional life. 1. Danielle Finley Jones. Danielle Finley Jones, a 28-year-old woman from Arizona, was found dead in her apartment in July under suspicious circumstances. Her death was initially ruled a homicide, with signs of trauma found on her body. Danielle had recently ended a relationship with her ex-boyfriend, and he was the last person seen with her. Despite this, investigators have not yet been able to definitively link him to the crime, as forensic evidence has not been conclusive. The case has left many in the community questioning whether it was a crime of passion or something more premeditated. Thank you for watching. If you found these cases as disturbing as we did, please consider sharing this video to raise awareness. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell for more true crime content. Stay vigilant and remember, justice for the victims is always worth fighting for.